Good afternoon, everyone. So, till here is clear to all, or you have any doubts, any problems, then you please tell me. Yeah. Any questions you have, then you please send so that I can start. I can go to the next stage. Clear is clear. I think no doubts still here because I'm not getting any response. It's good. Now, next step. So we have discussed about the types of planning, models of planning, why we need the plan. Okay. Because planning, it means simply you understand. Thank you, good afternoon. Uh, we do plan because one thing's out of limited resources, we have to achieve in time bound manner. So you need plan. Like when you are preparing a exam, when you are planning, okay, these days, this hour, I have to spend this. You are targeting, focusing on that, so you are able to do that. But you don't make any plan, and then you want to do that. Okay, tomorrow I will do that. Tomorrow I will do that. Tomorrow will never come. So you are not able to meet your target within time frame, within the budget or within the limited resources. So if you want to meet your requirement and achieve the targets within time frame and out of the limited resources, then it's good things you have to plan. Sometimes we say ki capitalist economy, in capitalist economy, since everything is decided by the market forces. So really in capitalist economy or market economy, we need the plan. Yes, we need plan also in the capitalist market. Because in suppose it is saying in capitalist market, if individual persons, maybe producers, maybe consumers, everyone is just behaving rationally they are behaving, then they can reach at the equilibrium. But problem is that who is going to coordinate? Because what is the requirement of the economy? One individual only can think about themselves or himself or herself. But what's about the overall economy? How you can establish the coordinations? So we need plan, we need coordination among the different economic agents. Fine. So now next we are going to just summarize, giving you the summary of first to 12 5-year plan. Why it is necessary? Because we have to know, okay, the evolving, the how the planning in India evolved. And if you are knowing this, I'm not going to in very detail, like, okay, but at least you have to develop a framework. If you are able to do that, then only you can compare with the today's the plan and policies, and you can compare with the earlier strategy, and it's very necessary one. It is very necessary one. Clear, it's very necessary one. So let's discuss the first 5-year plan. Okay, in 1950, you remember, in 1950, the Planning Commission was constituted. Here, you just get one more. Planning Commission. So, Planning Commission was constituted in 1950. In 1950. And Planning Commission was assigned the responsibility to formulate and implement plan in India. Okay. So, first 5-year plan formulated and implemented by India in 1951 by the Planning Commission, and Planning Commission implemented first 5-year plan in 1951. So 1951, the first 5-year plan, the Planning Commission implemented. Then states started discussing and started protesting that time. Basically not protest, but it was a matter of concern that, okay, the plan you are going to formulate we're going to implement 4 states in the states. And there is no platform where states can participate during plan formulations and implementation. There was no any platform. So how can you ensure the effective implementation and formulation of the plan? So randomly you are just making it. What is the requirement of the states, the states? So how can you get this? So later on the government realized, and in 1952, after implementation of first 5-year plan, in 1952, the government constituted NDC. NDC means National Development Council. National Development Council. NDC was constituted in 1952. Okay, once it was constituted, okay, then, when NDC was constituted, then it's decided that Planning Commission will work under the NDC. So framework developed, NDC is here, under NDC Planning Commission started working. So highest decision making body related to plan, formulation and implementation became the NDC, National Development Council. And the composition of National Development Council was, the chairperson of this council was the Prime Minister, and Cabinet Minister was the member also, and all the chief ministers and Lieutenant Governors of your UTs were the member of the Planning Commission. And also the Planning Commission member was the ex officio member of the NDC. So that was the composition of NDC. And Planning Commission responsibility was formulate the plan, get approval from the NDC. Any suggestion made by the NDC, the Planning Commissions had to include it and modify this. That was the responsibility given to, this structure like this, and Planning Commission started working under the NDC. So highest decision making body was NDC in the earlier one. I will compare you later on the composition of earlier NDC and Planning Commission, and you see the composition of Niti Aayog. So NDC, you can see it's nothing but it is a governing council. Today is Niti Aayog's governing council. And Planning Commission is nothing but it is a full-time organizational framework. Okay, so we can compare it later on. Just this is the scenario like this. So in 1950, Planning Commission constituted. Planning Commission formulated plan, implemented plan in 1951. So first 5-year plan was implemented in India in 1951. Just right. The first 5-year plan. Okay, first 5-year plan. And here you can write 1951 to 1956. 1951 to 1956. Okay, this was the year. So you can write few lines. It was based on Harrod-Domer model, as I discussed with you. It was based on Harrod-Domer model. Okay. It was based on Harrod-Domer model. Full stop, right? The issues prevailing during that plan, issues prevailing during the plan were refugee problem. Refugee means after partition, you can just see refugee problem was there. Refugee problem, comma, food shortage, higher inflation, lack of infrastructure, etc. So basically, these were the prevailing issues in that particular, during that time when this 5-year plan, the planners were formulating that time these problems were prevailing. Clear? Right. Continue. The plan focused on See, remember one thing, something on the just basis of the general concept, you can just say so many things. Like after partition, the main problem we were facing that the shortage of food grains after partitions. So during that time, food was the main priority. So in first 5-year plan, first priority was given to agriculture sector. It's happened in each and every 5-year plan or every plan it will happen. Okay, the priority sector, priority issue will be only priority sector or priority things will be only what is that requirement, the first priority of the economy that time. Okay, so that time after the partitions, economy was facing the problem of food shortage. So agriculture was focused, agriculture was given the main priority. So first 5-year plan, the priority sector, priority is given to agriculture. So just write, the plan focused on agriculture, comma, price stability, price stability, power, comma, power and transport. Power and transport. Yes, if earlier you think the infrastructure means the power and transport, this was the main focus. Okay, change the para, you write, right? It was a successful plan, the first 5-year plan. It was a successful plan, full stop. Objectives of, objectives of, yeah, objectives of rehabilitation of refugees, comma, food self-sufficiency, and control control of prices, and control of prices were more or less achieved, were more or less achieved, were more or less achieved, were more or less achieved. Okay, see, first 5-year plan is known as successful plan. Successful plan. Why? I'm not saying you developed, but what was the target during this plan? More or less you achieved. Okay, the moment you materialized, you achieve the targets, means you success. And why it is also so also known as successful plan? Because the 2.1%, 2.1% was the 2.1% growth rate. It was the growth rate target. It was target growth rate, 2.1%. But actually we achieved 3.6%. So 3.6% was actual and it was the target. It was the target. So we actually achieved more than the target growth rate. And sector wise and topic wise, area wise, we achieved, more or less we achieved. Clear. So we are saying the first 5-year plan is the successful plan. Who made this plan? It's very important because first 5-year plan. So Professor K.N. Raj. Professor K.N. Raj, because you are knowing the second 5-year plan made by the this one. But it's not necessary you should know these type of things because it's not the part. But you know the first 5-year plan, second 5-year plan, it's a very the initial one, so they may ask it. Okay, and why Professor K.N. Raj is also known in the planning history because he's given the concept of the Hindu growth rate. Okay, what is that? I will discuss you later. So sometimes his name comes when it's coming to the Hindu growth rate. Okay, I will come later. I will discuss it. Clear to all? This plan was formulated by the Professor K.N. Raj. Okay, now second 5-year plan you write. Second 5-year plan is 1956. Second 1956 to 1961. Yeah, 1961, second 5-year plan. Yeah. So second 5-year plan, the time period is 1956 to 1961. So as I already discussed, the second 5-year plan was based on Mahalanobis model, and the focus was given for industrialization. So industry was given main priority in second 5-year plan. Clear? So just right, because already I discussed with you. Okay, right. Second 5-year plan. Second 5-year plan was based on second 5-year plan was based on PC Mahalanobis model. PC Mahalanobis model. Okay, one point. Right. In the second 5-year plan, in the second 5-year plan, 5-year plan, it was felt that industry should be given, industry should be given, industry should be given first priority, and agriculture second, and agriculture second. Clear? So, full stop, then you write so the plan focused on rapid industrialization. The plan focused on industrialization through 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 development of basic and heavy industries, through development of basic and heavy industries, through development of basic and heavy industries, and accordingly, right, and accordingly, the industrial policy, accordingly, the industrial policy, 1956, accordingly, industrial policy, 1956 was implemented, which was based on, which was based on, which was based on socialist pattern of industrialization, which was based on socialist pattern of industrialization, socialist pattern of industrialization. Clear? Fine. Change the para, you write. There was huge shortage of forex. Forex means foreign exchange reserve. There was huge shortage of foreign exchange reserves, forex exchange reserves, which affected the development targets, and inflation was also higher, Just full stop. See dear, why there was a huge shortage of forex? Because for industrialization we imported huge amount of the machineries, equipments, and we purchased the technology and other things. So that leads to more outflow of foreign currency. But you are knowing that we were not earning that time the foreign currency, but expenditure or spend was much more in compared to earnings. So we faced the shortage, huge shortage, and that's affected our targets, because due to the lack of the foreign currency, we were not in a position to meet our requirement. Clear? So that parts you have to understand. Clear? Now write the second 5-year plan. Sorry, second we have written, third 5-year plan. 1961 to 1966. Third 5-year plan. Third 5-year plan. 1961 to 1966. Okay, third 5-year plan in this period, 1961 to 1966. See what's happening in third 5-year plan. If you see, okay, the third 5-year plan, the policy makers, since there was higher inflation, you have written that there was higher inflation, and in second 5-year plan we faced inflations due to the agriculture sector or agriculture product. Again, the shortage was felt, and the demand and the supply gap was there. You compare with today's scenario, then today in Indian agriculture facing the higher inflation, but higher inflation is due to the agriculture and allied products, and second is your crude oil. So agriculture is still playing in Indian economy a significant role for inflations. Yeah, it's a contributory factor in Indian economy. That same scenario it was there, and due to higher inflation, what's happened? Due to higher inflation, ultimately it's affected your investments in industry, infrastructure, everywhere. So then policymakers realize that we can't ignore agriculture. So in third five-year plan, the policymakers given emphasis on both. Equally, they given the importance agriculture as well as industry. Okay, so both they begin the both the sectors they given the priority in the third five-year plan. Yeah, right. During this plan, it was felt that right during this plan, it was felt that Indian economy has entered. Indian economy has entered has entered a take-off stage. A take-off stage. Remember, take-off stage. Enter to take-off stage. I will tell you. I am putting in the inverted comma. I will tell you the meaning of that. Take-off stage. This only you have to understand because in the PT paper they asked, okay, already asked, okay, the which plan is considered as the take-off stage, or under which plan it was considered. So third five-year plan. Okay, so take-off stage, full stop. Therefore, the main objective was to make India a self-reliant and self-generating. First is this, second is self-generating economy. Clear? Two target was there, to make self-reliant and self-generating. See, even in the third five-year plan, the self-reliant was the objective. And what is the meaning of self-reliant? Atmanirbhar. So today you can see Atmanirbhar Bharat of the government policy. It is basically, it was even the part of the earlier. Okay. Yes, it's you are saying, you are using the word, okay, the Atmanirbhar Bharat and self-reliant. Okay, so it was there. Okay. But yes, true, we are giving more focus to make India self-reliant. Right. Policymakers also realized that that without increasing the agricultural product, economy cannot achieve the objectives. Economy cannot achieve the objectives. Economy cannot achieve the objectives. Okay, full stop, right? Therefore, agriculture was also given priority. Therefore, agriculture was also given priority to support industry and exports. Full stop, right? In this plan, policymakers balanced the development of agriculture and industry. In this plan, policymakers balanced the development of agriculture and industry. In this plan, policymakers balanced the development of agriculture and industry. Okay, in this plan, policymakers balanced the development of agriculture and industry. Clear here? Right. This plan failed, change the paragraph, this plan failed due to the following reasons. Yeah, this plan failed due to the following reasons. Okay, what were the reasons? So, reasons of failure of the third five-year plan, one you can write, the India-China war, India-China war, that we can say in 1962, yeah, 1962. Second, India-Pakistan war, in 1965. And third one, yeah, E. You can pronounce as you want, famine or famine. Okay, depending on you. Just so you can understand one thing. Three major incidents happened in this year. One, war with China in 1962. It's a war. WAR. And India-Pakistan war 1965. So you remember that war with Pakistan affected much more to Indian economy because the food grains earlier we were importing from other countries and we were getting the food aid from the other countries. They stopped the selling to us, and second they stopped the food aid to us. So the total demand for food, domestic demand for food, was meeting through domestic production one part, and second part the imports from other countries and food aid from other countries. But due to war with Pakistan, the associates countries, they stopped selling to us. So we were not receiving any supply from the other countries, and domestic dip production also affected due to the flood and droughts. Okay. So finally, it was observed that there was demand, but we were not able to meet, not able to feed our people. We were not able to feed all the people. So literally India faced the famine in India. There was famine and worst famine. The 1965. And it was the peak in the 1965 to 66 during this period. So you understand this. It is really the two wars you are fighting in a particular plan period. So you understand the amount you left or amount you allotted for development purpose that is diverted to meet the war requirement. There is a concept in economics, the butter and gun. And what is the butter and gun? Butter means if you are spending your money for development purpose, the welfare purpose, it comes under the butter. It is known as the butter. But if you are developing the defense sector allied activities, then it is known as the gun because you are producing more gun. So if a country has limited resources, then either you can go for the higher development or you can go for the defense sector development. So always there is a trade-off. If you are developing your defense sector, you are compromising your growth and development. If you are developing you are spending more money, then you are compromising with the defense. So that time, since due to the two wars, we diverted the resources to the war, and this money diverted to that from the development purpose, and that's the reason this plan failed. Okay, just you write. This plan failed. This plan failed due to the following reasons. Please write all the three. Following reasons. Please write all the three. Okay. Then, after writing these 3 points, you just write, due to conflicts with China and Pakistan, due to conflicts with China and Pakistan, China and Pakistan, the resources was diverted from economic development work to defense development work. 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 Okay. Take it here. Connected. Now I'm going to discuss about the takeoff stage. What is the meaning of takeoff stage? Okay. Basically, it is a W.W. Rostow. Since this concept is used in planning, so you have to know that, because anytime they can relate, they can ask. They already asked it. Clear? So W.W. Rostow, you can say Rostow's stages of development. Stages of development. Okay. W.W. Rostow's stages of development. So he given some stages. Okay, the economy will grow in these stages. Okay. So first he's saying the first stage is the traditional society is talking about. Second is saying about precondition for takeoff. Third, takeoff. Fourth, drive to maturity. And fifth one, drive to maturity. And fifth one, is of high mass consumption. Is of high mass consumption. Just see. Yes. So W.W. Rostow's, it's the stages of development. So Rostow given society, any economy in this world, they are developing in this way. So when economy is initial stage, so it is known as a traditional society, and from traditional society they are going for the condition for takeoff. Once they take off, they are reaching the takeoff stage, means they are takeoff. Then he is going for drive to maturity, and after drive to maturity, then they are going for age of high mass consumption. So age of high mass consumption, dear, is the stage of, or it is a stage of developed country, because if you go and see the developed country status, I mean the developed country economic conditions, so their consumption level is really very higher. So if you take the households in developed countries, they consume proportionally more amount from the income compared to the savings. So there is a high mass consumption. If you want to relate this, okay, in the very normal and practical life, so very easily you can relate this. Okay, just take the Airbus. You are using the air services. So you take the Airbus. When Airbus has the stagnant positions, I mean they stopped. They are the parked basically. The Airbus parked in the airport, and people are boarding in the airport and the Airbus. So that condition you can say it's a traditional society, very initial stage. And basically traditional society also, it is agrarian in nature, where agriculture dominates in your society, I mean the country. Okay, so what you can see that after boarding, once boarding is completed, then that Airbus started leaving the that area. I mean that started leaving this parked area and moving towards the runway. So from here till the runway they are reaching, okay, the all condition is known as the preconditions for takeoff. Precondition for takeoff. But even before takeoff, they're creating a huge momentum for takeoff the things. So till there, the all are preconditioned for takeoff. But once takeoff, suppose Airbus is takeoff this, like this third stage, on takeoff, then what will happen? The Airbus is now going to maturity. So once reach and they will cover some distance, if everything is fine, stable, so that stage is now drive to maturity. Now you, all the risk is not there, but now risk is just already covered, and now you are at the maturity level. Once it is there, then air hostess is coming to offering you the refreshment. That is the age of high mass consumption. But don't write these things. Okay, it just I given you example to connect this thing. Yes, how these stages are there. So in the practical, it's agrarian nature. When development start, investment start in the country start developing. So initially you have to invest, saving you have to increase, investment you have to do. So when you are investing, start investing in the country. These are already preconditions for takeoff. Once huge amount of investment you are invested, then a certain level you are crossing, means your takeoff. Then you keeps going higher and higher. The growth rate is higher, development is higher, employment opportunities is higher, keeps going in upward direction, means you can take off. Once you continue for the some years, then you attain the maturity. Again you continue with the for some years, then you can attain the developed country stages. In this way they are defined, and these are the stages of development of a country. Okay. So you remember these stages, and from this third stage is the takeoff. So that's the reason you have written the takeoff stage. Clear? Just check. Okay, now next one. Next one is the annual plans. Next one is the 3 annual plans. Clear? You have written that? Already noted here? Okay, then there was 3 annual plan. And this year was 1966 to 69. Okay, why annual plan? I will tell you. 3 annual plans means 1966 to 67, 1967 to 68, and 1968 to 69. So these 3 were the annual plan, and this 3 years is known as plan holiday. It is known as the plan holiday. This period is known as plan holiday. So in Indian planning history, the 1966 to 69, in this period there was annual plan, and this period is known as plan holiday. Why it is a plan holiday? You understand, it is the period after facing 2 wars and worst famine in India. So India was not in a position basically to implement the 5-year plan. Okay, so what's happened? Anyhow they managed the annual plan. They just continued the economy by making annual plan. So since there was no proper 5-year plan was implemented, so that is the reason that these 3 years is known as the plan holiday. Okay. So just continued the economy, no special emphasis, focus. Okay, we can't say special focus was not given, but there was no proper, the 5-year plan was implemented, so it's known as the plan holiday. But as far as specific objective, so see this period, it is a period when green revolutions come out. Okay, so first you clear, there was no proper 5-year plan was implemented, so this period is known as the Plant holiday. Annual plan was implemented in this during this period. But you remember, this is the period when 65, 66 and the onwards, you face the problem of agricultural product, that is the food grains. So food grain was one of the issue, and that's created huge problem for Indian economy. So many people died without food, and that's the reason we are seeing the worst famine India faced during this period. Or famine you can say, or famine you can say. जैसा चाहो आप कर लेना, but clear. So people died without food, okay, and the policymakers then invested, policymakers focused in agriculture sector. Okay, how to get this, how to solve this problem and get the self-reliant in food grains. So see this period here, this period is the one of the good example, because situation created like this, and we come out with the solution, and solution was green revolutions. Yeah, come on, green revolutions. Green revolution. So we come out with the green revolution. It's mid 60s, 65 onwards. This is the period when we come out with the green revolutions. And that green revolution made us today the self-reliant in food grains. Self-reliant in food grains. So at least we are producing enough amount to feed our people. Okay, for normal goods, for food grains, we are not depending on the other countries. Yes, something we are importing from other country, like the, I mean, you can say the vegetable oils. Okay, we are importing from other country, but we are giving focus to increase the production of that. So at least we are self-reliant. Okay, recently it was the news when the wheat crisis it was there in the world. So many countries they requested to India to, I mean, import. They wanted to import from India. So you understand, at least we are the self-reliant nowadays, and that is the contribution goes to the green revolution which happened in mid 60s. So green revolution is what? So there are four modern inputs we used in green revolutions, and we given focus on that. One is high yielding varieties seeds. High yielding varieties seeds. High yielding variety seeds. Second input is chemical fertilizers. Chemical fertilizers. Third is irrigation. And fourth one is mechanization. And these four are known as modern inputs of green revolutions. These four are known as modern inputs of green revolutions. Okay, so you understand here that green revolution is outcome of what? High yielding variety seeds. The green revolution success of this depending on four input, that you can say: high yielding variety seeds, chemical fertilizers, irrigation, and mechanizations. And these four are known as complementary goods. These are related to each other. These are the complementary goods. If really we want to get result of green revolution, we have to use all the four inputs at the same time. Like take the example of one. If high yielding variety seeds we are using in agriculture, then to get the result, we have to use the chemical fertilizers. Why chemical fertilizers? Because high yielding variety seeds is completing the whole process in very short span of time, and we are producing huge amount in compared to the traditional seeds. So since in the short span of time you are producing more amount, definitely you need more nutrition. You need more nutrition. See, soil, are you talking about the soil one? The soil has their own nutritional regenerating capacity or potential, but that is not enough to meet the requirement of the high yielding variety seeds. So how can you meet with this gap? The requirement of nutrition and the supply of nutrition by the soil itself. So that is only you can meet this gap by using the chemical fertilizers. You have to use chemical fertilizers to meet the demand. Just wait, let me complete. Okay. And when you're using chemical fertilizers, so just throwing on the farmland area, it is not the solution. Solution is what? Okay, these chemical fertilizers must be dissolved and must reach to the roots of plants. And it is only possible if your area is under irrigation. If your area is under irrigations. Why it is so? Because if area is under irrigation, so when you want water, how much water you need, at what time you need, yes, you can make it. If your area is under rain-fed area, you can't get proper water and the timely water. But if it is irrigation under irrigation, so yes, you can get water when you need. And water is going to dissolve the chemical fertilizers and will reach to the roots of the plant. Then only you are getting the benefits. Why mechanization is necessary for green revolution? The reason is all the crops in a very short span of time, you are doing all the things. Okay. And now you are going for a year, 2 and 3 crops. So everything you have to do in the time bound manner, which is only possible if you are going for the mechanizations. If you are depending on the labor, so it will take time, maybe possibly you are passing the or crossing the sowing season and you can't get the proper output. Okay. So it is need. Any of these four, you are going to miss, you are not going to get the result of green revolution. And that is one of the reason that if you are talking about generally the India, then you think the green revolution result initially we are getting in Punjab, Haryana and western part of the UP. Why? Because these areas were covered under the irrigations. Okay. Later on, the impact and the outcome of green revolution you can see from to the different part of the countries. Why? Because now you more and more area you are bringing under irrigation. So once you're bringing more and more area under irrigation, so you are getting the results. Clear? Now, chemical fertilizers started harming the agriculture. So use of chemical fertilizers or use of chemical fertilizers creating another problem in the country or in the abroad also. And that is the problem that we started thinking about sustainability of agricultural development. So the way we are developing, if we continue in the same way, so there is a possibility we can't sustain in the future. We can't sustain in the future. The problem is that more use of chemical fertilizers, okay, going to, make the soil dead, and once your soil dead, you can't produce anything. And it started happening in the Punjab and Haryana, some part of these states. The farmland becomes the dead or it's a barren land. You can't produce anything. And why it's happened? Due to use of more chemical fertilizers. Because you keep throwing the chemical fertilizers, soil losing their own regenerating power of nutritional level. And once it is reaching where use that is stopped producing any nutritional level in the soil, and then you can't produce it. Soil is dead. Okay. So what is the solution nowadays? We started replacing these chemical fertilizers with the organic fertilizers, and that's the reason the government and the other agencies, they are focusing and encouraging farmers to go for the organic farming. And one of the even the northeast, you can take one of the state, they got 100% organic farming status, and that state is the Sikkim. You got it. And the government now, they are focusing more on the organic fertilizers. If you have started using the organic fertilizers, then only we can ensure the coming generation the sustainable development. Okay. And one more concept is started in agriculture that I will discuss in agriculture. Zero-based natural farming. Zero budget natural farming. ZBNF. Okay. And in this budget already government has announced about ZBNF. Clear है? याद रहेगा ये? देख लो एक बार. So things. Okay, which states India belongs now? So you think about it. What is that? Since you can say that in the current situations, India has already achieved the higher economic growth. Okay, if you compare with the world, we are already growing at the faster rate. So you can just say that nowadays, yes, okay, we already take off, clear. But we are going towards the maturity, but it's long way we have to go, long way we have to go. Okay, just to write all of you, 3 annual plans, right? Due to the failure of the third 5-year plan, due to the failure of the third 5-year plan, the economy faced stagnation. The economy faced stagnation in various sectors of the economy, in various sectors of the economy, and high inflation, and high inflation. Right. Government of India, Government of India devalued, Government of India devalued domestic currency. Devaluation, it is all concept you will get in the external sector. Just you write, Government of India devalued domestic currency to increase exports of the country. To increase exports of the country. To increase exports of the country. Clear? Full stop, right? So the fourth 5-year plan. So the fourth 5-year plan was postponed. So the fourth 5-year plan was postponed and 3 annual plans were implemented. And 3 annual plans were implemented. Let's write this plan period, 1966 to 1969, 1966 to 1969, 69 is known as plan holiday, is known as plan holiday, is known as plan holiday. Okay, let's write during this plan, agriculture sector was emphasized. Agriculture sector was emphasized, and new inputs were introduced in the agriculture sector. Were introduced in the agriculture sector. Were introduced in the agriculture sector, like high yielding variety seeds, chemical fertilizers, irrigation, and mechanization. Clear? Now you write fourth 5-year plan. Right, fourth 5-year plan. So fourth 5-year plan is 1969 to 74. Right, fourth 5-year plan, 1969. Yeah, 1969 to 1974. Yeah, fourth 5-year plan. So you understand this. In this plan, since so many things happened before this plan, war and annual plans we implemented, but we come out with the Great Revolution. So in this plan, the policymakers decided to achieve the twins objectives. And what was the objective? Growth with stability, okay, and progressive development of self-reliance. Means progressively we can achieve the self-reliance, and growth with stability means we can grow but with the stability in the economy. That were the objectives. And during this plan you just get it one things you can say that during this plan in 1971 India faced a war again with the Pakistan. Okay, So one incident was there at 1971 war, that is due to for the Bangladesh. Okay. So again we fought a war in this 1971. One more thing you can get from this year, okay, in 1971, it's very historical terms we are using in the planning, where the Mrs. Gandhi given a word slogan, Garibi Hatao in 1971. So this fourth 5-year plan is very relevant because one things because trickle down effect trickle down effect is what that you have to understand. Trickle down effect, one concept. Trickle down effect. Trickle down effect means if you are just taking a policy or changing the upper layer like industrializations, agriculture, services, infrastructure, if you are developing, then development of this sector has the impact at the ground level. So this is ground level impact is what? It is going to create your employment. It is going to create your increase in employment. An increase in employment is going to another level impact, and that is eradication of poverty. Eradication of poverty. So planners were in assumption that if we develop all the sectors in the country, then automatically, if we are able to develop, then production in the economy will go up. And if production in the economy keeps increasing, then employment opportunities will create, more people will get the job. If more people are getting the job, then definitely we are going to control and eradicate the poverty in the economy. But planners never targeted directly employment and unemployment. Unemployment means increase. Low employment opportunity means less employment opportunity means more unemployment. Okay, you take it this way. So due to higher level of unemployment, because the way they planned, that failed to create enough job opportunities. Okay, so that results higher level of unemployment, and higher level of unemployment results higher poverty. So what was the planners aim? Trickle down impact will work in the economy. It's failed. So the unemployment, poverty keeps increasing in the country. So that is the reason during this period, 1971, the Mrs. Gandhi given one of the slogan, Garibi Hatao, but never targeted directly the unemployment and the poverty. That is the policy makers they done it. So what's happened? This policy continued, but yes, in this policy, the emphasis was given also to control the population. So family planning schemes were introduced. The government given the focus. Okay, these were steps were taken by the government. Okay, under this plan. Just to write all of you, allies countries, allies countries refused to supply food grains. Refused to supply food grains, comma essential equipments, and raw materials due to India-Pakistan war. Due to India-Pakistan war. Okay, full stop. So the policymakers decided to achieve twins objective. Decided to achieve twins objectives of one you write growth with stability, and second one progressive achievement of self-reliance. Second one, progressive achievement of self-reliance under fourth 5-year plan. Yeah, full stop, right? Implementation of family planning program. Were among the major targets of the plan. was among the major targets of the plan. Okay, of the plan, full stop, right? Special emphasis was given on special emphasis was given on improving the conditions of improving the conditions of underprivileged and weaker sections of the society. Underprivileged and weaker sections of the society. Underprivileged and weaker section of the society. Yes, dear, one more thing you remember. Since you faced the famine in India, okay, so then we realized in the third 5-year plan, we realized that there should be buffer stock. There should be buffer stock. So buffer stock concept we started from fourth 5-year plan. What is buffer stock? So buffer stock means that the government of India keeps in some reserves the food grains to meet uncertain, unexpected incidents or events in the country. If you need these food grains in the future due to uncertain, unexpected incidents, then you can use this reserve and meet your demand. And this buffer stock, it is with the FCI, Food Corporation of India. Why? Because Food Corporation of India is the central government agency, and they are doing that, they are maintaining that. Not only that, your procurement process, distributions and to the states, they all done by through the FCI, Food Corporation of India. So if you want, then you can just add it one more point. During this plan, the buffer stock concept okay, implemented. But started keeping some food grains. Right. This plan failed. Again, this plan failed due to the following reasons. First, you write India-Pakistan War in 1971. First, you write India-Pakistan War in 1971. Bracket, you can write the Bangladesh, then you can get the reason behind it. Okay. Second, you write Bangladesh's refugee. Yeah, it created one of the challenge for Indian economy. Bangladesh's refugee. Second, you can write higher inflation due to, you can write higher inflation due to 1971 oil crisis. 1971 oil crisis. Higher inflation due to 1971 oil crisis. 1971 oil crisis. 1972 oil crisis. So there is a oil crisis in the world. Always means whenever oil crisis is there, always it is going to affect the Indian economy, because more than 80% requirement of our food, crude oil, we are importing from the other countries. So it is there. So it's going to affect. Clear here? Fourth. Now write fifth 5-year plan. Next. Fifth 5-year plan, and time period is 1974 to 79. 1974 to 79. Just think. This fifth 5-year plan was terminated in 1978. Just 1 year before the scheduled time. Okay. Just think this period here. This period is very important for us. That is a particular your fifth 5-year plan. Why I discussed before this in the fourth 5-year plan?
the poverty, unemployment. Yes, it becomes a very normal characteristics of Indian economy. So during the same period, you can just say the a movement is started. Sometimes we are saying it's a JP movement. Okay, basically this was the people's coming on the road. Why? And mainly the youth people, they were participated in this movement. Why? Because they were the mainly affected parties due to unemployment situations. So huge unemployment was prevailing, were prevailing, and since there was no direct impact, there was no policy which directly affecting the unemployment and the poverty, they were really they come out on the road and they were the against of the ruling government. So Mrs. Gandhi has taken initiative. Fine, they have given the slogan "Garibi Hatao," the family planning programs they control. But you understand, these all are the short-term measures. Family planning you are implementing. You are promising you wait, the industry is going to develop, agriculture is going to develop, infrastructure is going to develop. But you understand one thing: if I am unemployed, I am in the poor people, I am not able to eat. Can I wait for the 10 years, 20 years to get the job for survival of my life? Okay, so we need a short term. Every time you remember, these issues need short term measures, and at the same time, you have to go for the long term measures. Okay, like when the in 1978 when this Congress lost the power in 77 they lost the power. Janata Party came in the power. So when again you are coming back to 1980, what's happened? When Congress realized that poverty and unemployment is the issue, really it's issue, and due to that I can lose the power. The moment political groups of the government, if they think I'm going to lose due to some issue, they're going to take care of that matter. So when the Congress came again in the power in 1980, that is when they implemented the sixth five-year plan in 1980. Then they come out with the measures that directly affected the unemployment and poverty. And the in sixth five-year plan, the Congress implemented the NREP, National Rural Employment Program. So sixth five-year plan they implemented, and that is started giving the direct benefits to unemployed people and poor people. If you are unemployed, a minimum days of work that is given to under NREP, and if minimum income you are earning, so it's also helping to the poor people. That is a direct measurement, and that NREP today is known as the Manrega. So you understand there are some issue you have to take steps which immediate take care of. You can't wait for the long term. Immediate, you have to take action on that, and you provide the relief to these groups immediately. Then you realized, and the 6-5-year plan, you have started doing that, and still today government is doing that. Okay, you are taking the direct measures to provide the benefits to the poor people. At the same time, you're taking the long-term strategy, the development process, because once economy will develop and unskilled labor opportunity will create, then they are able to get the jobs. And once they are able to get the job, then in the future you make, deviating from the social contributions or social work, then it's okay, but they can sustain their own. But today you need it, directly you have to give it. That things we have to understand. So right, fifth five-year plan. The main objective of this plan was, even the objective was removal of poverty, I am not denying it. But in the ground level, there was a problem. The main objective of this plan was removal of poverty, that is Garibi Hatao. Write in the English word, Garibi Hatao. In English, you write this word, removal of poverty and attainment of self-reliance. And attainment of self-reliance. Okay, right. During this plan, following problems were faced. During this plan, following problems were faced. One, you write higher inflations due to due to due to due to higher oil prices in international market. Higher inflations due to higher oil prices in international market.
Next you can write emergency in 1975. Emergency in 1975, etc. etc. Right. The emphasis when emergency was imposed in 1975, the normal objective of plan were stopped, and Mrs. Gandhi given 20 points agenda. Mrs. Gandhi given 20 points agenda, which is known as the Prime Minister's 20-point program, and all emphasis was given to that. Just I change the para. The emphasis shifted to the implementation of the implementation of the Prime Minister's 20-point program. The Prime Minister's 20-point programs after emergency, or just you leave it, just you write 20 points program for the stop, right? This program was terminated. This program was terminated before before 1 year of scheduled time, by the Janata Party government. Okay. Okay. One question, I am getting it. Suman. You are asking one question, sir. In fourth 5-year plan, bank nationalizations also happened. Good. What was the reason behind this move? See, you understand it because if you take the fourth 5-year plan, so basically they wanted to create more job opportunities, more investments, and more development. Basically, they started focusing on that, and also the main focus also was to achieve the social objectives, social development. And for social development, if you are left the banking sector to the private hands, they will not go and they will not provide the benefits to the social sector, because social upliftments or social development means you are going to lend to the farmers, artisans, okay, for village artisans, village industries, cottage industries, okay. So you are not going to lend to them. You are only lending to the large scale industries and other, the medium scale industries. Okay, what's about the very small things? The social objective was not realizing that time. So government only decided, if we really want to provide the benefits to the marginal section of society, poor people, okay, underprivileged people, then only it is possible to nationalize the banks. Then they have taken the initiative, nationalization of banks. Okay, so because if you go back to the early one, when it was, and not only, even today, there is a object of priority sector lending. There's whatever amount of banks is lending, the 40% the bank has to lend to the priority sector. So it is there. That was the main objective of nationalization of banks. Okay, social sector development and welfare objectives or social welfare objectives. Clear. Please write annual plans then. After this, you write annual plans. Remember, dear, this plan is basically, these plans are implemented by Janata Party government. These are annual plans, but we can't term as the plan holiday. Why we can't term as the plan holiday? Because there was a proper and specific type of plan was implemented during this period, and that was the rolling plan. Actually, in this year, in 1977, Janata Party came in the power. So if any party come in power, they always think, I will continue for the next 5 years. So they implemented plan basically from 1978 till 1983. Yeah, for 5 years they implemented. But since they can't, they not continued the 5 years, and Congress came in the power in 1980.
So they terminated this plan. So the annual plan, what we are saying, actually it's a rolling plan which implemented. So it's only continued for 2 years, 1978 to 1980. So it's only termed in the 2 years. And then again the Congress implemented the 6th 5-year plan in 1980. Is that there? Okay. So plan holiday we will not say because proper plan was implemented and that was the ruling plan. So right. Janata Party government implemented implemented plan for 1978 to 1983 for 1978 to 1983 and emphasized on rural development comma cottage industries, development of cottage and village industries, comma development of agriculture and allied sectors, comma increase in job opportunities, eradication of poverty, etc. Clear? Right. Janata Party government continued Janata Party government continued only for 2 years, and this plan was continued till 1980 when the Congress party came in power. Or 1980, just you write full stop you write, and just you write one more line. This plan was terminated in 1980 by the Congress party government. Okay, clear? And the moment this continued only 2 years, so this period 1978 to 1980 we can't term as the plan holiday, but 66 to 69, these 3 periods known as the plan holiday. Fine. So when Congress came in power, then 6th 5-year plan again they implemented. First implemented by the Janata Party government, but that was not continued. After 2 years, discontinued. So 6th 5-year plan was implemented again. Sixth 5-year plan that continues from 1980 to 1985. 1980 to 1985. And when in this year, when Congress came in the power, then Congress realized, yes, poverty and unemployment, these two are the major issue. Even we can lose the power. So this time they implemented some plans, which directly, they directly benefited the unemployed and poor people. And like NRIP, they implemented TRISEM. So NRIP is the National Rural Employment Program. NRIP means National Rural Employment Program, and that NRIP today is your Manrega. Okay, now it's a mandate to get a minimum number of days of the job. TRISEM means training for self-employment. TRISEM means training for self-employment. Okay, so they started giving training to unemployed persons so that they can get the job Okay, they can create their self-employment. They can do their own job. They start their own business like this. Try saying, right, all of you. This plan focused on, and you are knowing that okay, poverty and unemployment you can only solve if you are going to achieve higher economic growth and development. So focus was there. The plan focused on higher economic growth and development, higher economic growth and development, and removal of poverty through 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 developing infrastructure in both the sectors, agriculture and industry. In both the sectors, in agriculture and industry. So you can see one thing, there was no special focus was given to the services. Okay, only agriculture industry was the part of your plan objective. I'm not saying not the services sector, but yes, particular like the education, health, it was a priority, but not particularly service sector you consider. Continue. The emphasis was given on better management, efficiency, and monitoring of various schemes. And monitoring of various schemes. Okay, you stop right. Indian economy made an all-round progress. And most of the targets of the plan were achieved. Under this plan, government implemented several programs and schemes which benefited directly to poverty and unemployment. Like NREP, TRISEM, etc. Clear, dear? Now, just check here. Till any doubts, any questions, let me check. You ask any question or not. Sound is low. Okay, now I think it's adjusted, no? Check. Now, till here, any doubts, any question? Just check, all of you. Clear? Now, come to the 7th five-year plan. So, 7th five-year plan from 85 to 90. 1985 to 90. And you remember this is the last 5-year plan. Okay, under your imperative planning. Because from first 5-year plan we are continuing under the socialist pattern of development. In last plan under the socialist pattern of development, it is the 7th 5-year plan till 1990. Clear? Why I am saying up to 7th 5-year plan, that's imperative one,
because in industry sector, the Prime Minister that time, during that time it was Rajiv Gandhi, mostly, I mean the major here is rule. So he basically started implementing reforms in industrial sector. So industrial sector already we started reform. Okay. But yeah, 7 5 year plan is achieved around, that is achieved a 6% growth rate. Growth rate. So this year it was this plan, it was discussed that yes, we crossed the Hindu growth rate. Okay, so remember, it's not related to any religion. First of all, clear this. Hindu growth rate, this word we are used for the Indian economy. Okay, and who given this? So this concept was given by Professor K. N. Raj. So Professor K. N. Raj termed as the Hindu growth rate, and it is a 3.5% growth rate is termed as the Hindu growth rate. Clear. So till before this year, this plan. So if you take from the first 5 year plan to the before this, so average on an average, if you take in the whole plan period before this, so average per annum growth rate it was 3.5%. There was higher and lower, but take the average from the first 5 plan, it was 3.5%. So Professor K. Raj termed it is the characteristics of Indian economy, you can only grow 3.5%. Okay, so that was there. But in the 7 5 year plan, since we achieved 6% growth rate, so then it was discussed that we have already crossed the trap of Hindu growth rate. Okay, we crossed it, and now we achieved the 6.6% growth rate. Okay, that's discussed, the 6%. So just please write it. This plan emphasized on the accelerating 7 5 year plan. This plan emphasized on the accelerating food grains production, increasing productivity, and increasing employment opportunities, etc. Full stop, right? In this plan, liberalization initiative was taken. Only in industrial sector. Only in industrial sector. Okay. Full stop, right? This plan was very successful. As the economy achieved. This plan was very successful as the economy achieved the record growth rate of 6%. This plan was very successful as the economy achieved the record growth rate of 6%. Clear? Check there. Then what's happened after that? Again, there was two annual plan. 1992. Annual plan 1992. That is a 1990 to 91 and 1991 to 92. These 2 years is again known as the plan holiday. This 2 year is again known as the plan holiday. Okay. What was the reason? The reason was in basically this period was also the political instability.
Political instability. Who is going to the prime minister was very difficult to say. Around 3 prime minister we got during this period. And second one was India faced also the BOP crisis. So condition was worse basically, but BOP crisis we faced in 1991. Okay, in 1991 we faced BOP crisis, then again it destabilized the economy. The budgetary deficit was very higher inflations, political instability, and external sector affected by disintegration of the USSR also. Oil crisis. So at the same time we faced so many problems. So it was not possible to go for the 5-year plan, and since there was no strong government that time, there was the coalition government, and most of the parties was in the minority, and they were only just taking the support, that is other prime ministers coming like this. This was the scenario. So no proper 5-year plan was implemented. Only 2 annual plans, 1991 to 91, 91, 92 were implemented, and these two are known as the plan holiday. These 2 periods are known as the plan holiday. So you remember 2 periods, you can say 1966-69 and 1992. These 2 periods are known as the plan holiday. Just to write, the 8th 5-year plan, could not take off due to fast changing political conditions at the center, political conditions or situations at the center, and economy also faced BOP crisis. Please stop, right? Therefore, from 1990 to 92, annual plans were formulated and implemented. Clear? Now, after this, then you are coming to the, or directly you write like this: 8th 5-year plan. Okay, and we just discussed with you, it's the first 5-year plan implemented after economic reforms. 1992 to 97, 8th 5-year plan. So what are the main features or characteristics of this plan? So it's the first 5-year plan after economic reforms, number 1. Second one, it is based on LPG model, and it is implemented under the framework of indicative plan. Clear? And fourth one, you can say we inclined more towards the capitalist pattern of development from the socialist pattern of development. It means our inclination shifted from the socialist pattern development to capitalist pattern development. So these are the features these are the points you have to remember about the 8th 5-year plan. So after economic reforms, it is the first 5-year plan. So right, during the implementation of this plan, the following conditions were prevailing. In the economy. First, you write BOP crisis. Next, you write high debt burden. Next, you write debt means DEBT, debt. You can write also debt, no issue, but I am telling you debt burden. You can say debt, but write DABT, DEBT, high debt burden. Next, higher budgetary deficit. Next point, higher budgetary deficit. Then recession in industry, and next higher inflation. Next is higher inflation. Next is higher inflation. And you can put ETC, etc. ETC, etc. Okay. Right, dear. Narasimha Rao government, because I discussed with you, LPG model was implemented at the time of when PV Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister and Dr. Manmohan Singh was the Finance Minister. So just write, Narasimha Rao government implemented economic reforms based on LPG model, under the framework of indicative planning. बोल दीजिए वो दूध मिल्क वाला under the framework of indicative planning. Fine, full stop. Right. This plan is also known as Rao Manmohan model. This plan not necessary to write always. You just move this line till here is fine. Right. Some of the main economic outcomes. Take this line. Some of the main economic outcomes during this plan were higher economic growth, comma, higher growth of agriculture and allied sector, growth in exports and imports of the country, comma, improvement is the positive sense, improvement in balance of trade and current account of the country. Either you can say current account because balance of trade is the part of your current account. ठीक है, देखो the BOP is divided into two major accounts. One is a capital account and one is a current account. Current account has two sub accounts. One is the BOT and one is the invisibles account. So BOT is the main matter of concern for the Indian economy even today, because we have the huge deficit in balance of trade. Okay, so that's improved when you started, because after economic reforms, you adopted the liberal policies towards foreign trade and also the foreign capital. So to some extent, it's improved. Okay, find here 8th 5-year plan is over. Now next you write 9th 5-year plan, 1997 to 2002. Here you can write 9th 5-year plan, 1997 to 2002. Okay. In 9th 5-year plan, you understand one thing. Few things you have to understand this. In 9th 5-year plan, see, that part I will discuss you in fiscal policy. If any country facing the higher fiscal deficit, then domestic disbalance can create the external disbalance. And for example, recent example, you can take the Sri Lanka as an example. In Sri Lankan economy, if you see, then government expenditure was more than the government receipts. Fiscal deficit was much more. Government funded the deficit from borrowings from central bank. That created higher inflations, and also slowly it's affected the external sector. Yes. So higher deficit may be one of the reason of external sector disbalance, and it was the condition in the BOP crisis in India also. So how it's affecting, that part I will discuss in the fiscal policy, but you understand it is, yes, it is one of the factor. So when we faced BOP and the worst part of the economy, so we have taken so many precautions, and we started decreasing our gap between expenditure and receipts. But after few years, again, that expenditure and receipts gap started increasing. But during this 97, 98, it was good. We continued to decrease the gap between expenditure and receipts. So, and that policy is known as fiscal consolidation policy. That policy is known as fiscal consolidation policy, where main aim of government is to decrease in the expenditure, increase the revenue. But when you are going to write this concept, decrease in expenditure, don't write the word decrease, because if you see the government not using the word decrease in expenditure, government using the word rationalization of expenditure. So when you are going to write, you please don't write the decrease. Government should decrease like this word, you don't use it. Simply use the government should rationalize the expenditure. This word you use. So government started rationalizing the expenditure, and under that, one of the steps they have taken in 1997, they shifted from universal PDS system to targeted public distribution system, TPDS. Okay, and due to that there is a huge save of government fund, because amount of subsidy the government tried to cut down. Because universal PDS system means earlier in 1997, this year, universal PDS means anyone holding the ration card, they were able to get food grains from the ration shops at the subsidized price. Anyone, irrespective of level of income. You are rich, you are poor, it doesn't matter. If you have the ration card, you are entitled to get food grains from the ration shops. But question is that, what is subsidy and why subsidy? Subsidy government is giving you, but to whom the subsidy should be given? That is the question arised. So subsidies should be given to those section of the society, they are not able to buy the food grains due to maybe any reasons, mainly that they don't have the income. So they are not able to buy that necessary food grains at the market price. So you are giving subsidy so that make this product feasible to them to buy and afford it, and they can continue their welfare. That is the main motive of subsidy. So under the universal PDS system, the government was giving to everyone, whether you rich or poor or middle class, higher middle class, everyone. But why this subsidy should be given to everyone? Then they shifted to the TPDS, target public distribution system. So now only BPL card holders are getting highly subsidized food grains from the ration shops or control price shops, you can say. Like today you are getting, that is the NFSA, National Food Security Act, that is enacted in India 2013. So under NFSA, the central government is giving the food grains at ₹1 normal cereals, ₹2 wheat, ₹3 rice. This is the issue price of central government, and through where you can get from the FCI. So all state governments getting the food grains 3 rupees, 2 rupees, 1 rupees means 1, 2, 3 rupees. And at the same price, they are selling to the through ration shops to the BPL card holders only, below poverty line card holders. Okay, if you are the APL card holders, above than poverty line card holders, then you are not getting at this rate. You have to pay the economic price. Okay, that is the things. So they shifted to this. Second, 2002, you can see 2002 is the year when government introduced a bill in the parliament, and why? To achieve the fiscal consolidation policy, which is known as the FRBM Act, FRBM bill. And this bill passed in the parliament in 2003. And what is FRBM? Fiscal Responsibility Budget Management Bill. Okay, I will discuss in the fiscal policy. That bill was introduced and enacted in 2003. Why I am discussing? Because it is the one of the instrument government used to control the fiscal consolidation of the fiscal consolidation and fiscal policy or fiscal deficit of the government. So, ultimate motive was fiscal consolidations during this plan. Okay? Please write, all of you, 9th 5-year plan. This plan implemented with the objective, write in bracket, growth with social justice and equality. Growth with social justice and equality. Growth with social justice and equality. Right. It assigned priority to agriculture. It assigned priority to agriculture and rural development. And also emphasis was given to basic minimum services, which included safe drinking water, comma, universalization of primary education, comma, streamlining PDS system. That is, a streamlining means shifting from here to here. Streamlining PDS system, and also policy of fiscal consolidation, was adopted. Etc. It is. Check here. Clear? So, any questions from your side here? Even students are not directly sending. No. No, we are getting from only one number all the response.
See dear, you asked one, so can you explain BOP crisis? I was thinking you were sending me directly the queries, but I think I'm not getting directly from you, filtered one. Okay, don't worry. BOP crisis, what you are asking, I will explain you in the external sector. But since you asked, so just for information so that you can continue your topic, that much I am informing you. BOP is the balance of payment. What is balance of payment? So balance of payment is a systematic record of all economic transactions between the home country and the rest of the world. What is BOP? BOP is the balance of payment. It is a systematic record of all economic transactions between the home country and the rest of the world. Okay? During a given period of time. So basically one country is doing trade with the rest of the world. So all economic transaction you are recording it, but the record should be the systematic way. And what is the systematic way? The whole transaction you are keeping and maintaining in two different accounts. So BOP having the two major account, one is the current account and one is the capital account. In both the account, there is two transaction is going, only two. Either you are receiving foreign currency or you are paying foreign currency. It is happening in the current account also, it is also happening in the capital account also. Like suppose you are saying the current account there is export and import of goods and services. So when you are exporting means what? You are earning the foreign currency. So there is a earning of foreign currency means there is a inflow of foreign currency. You are importing means you are buying from other countries. So you have to pay. So there is an outflow of foreign currency. Okay, it is there one of the examples. So if you take the current account, so yes, two things happening. Either you are receiving the foreign currency or you are paying the foreign currency. Clear? So in current account also there is an inflow of foreign currency and there is an outflow of foreign currency. Similarly in the capital account, say you are receiving FDI, so there is inflow of foreign currency. Your company invested in other countries, okay, our Indian company, or same foreign investor is taking back their money, so there is outflow of foreign currency. Again, there is outflow of foreign currency, inflow of foreign currency. If you take combined current account, capital account both, so if overall inflow of foreign currency is more than overall outflow of foreign currency, it is known as BOP surplus. If overall outflow is more than overall inflow of foreign currency, then it is known as a BOP deficit. Clear? BOP deficit. Deficit is fine. Deficit means okay, maybe you are in deficit but you have enough reserve. You can easily pay the things. Okay. But if you are in deficit but you don't have in reserve and you don't know when you will get it, so you are in the crisis. You are in the crisis. You are in deficit and also you don't have any reserve. So you are in the crisis. So don't have in the reserve means very low amount maybe. Like in your 1991, India had forex reserve, very low amount. Even that was not enough to pay the 2 weeks of import bills. It was not enough to pay even 2 weeks of import bill. Clear? So you understand the situation. That is the reason that is known as a BOP crisis. Okay. Rest part, what is that? Each and every account I will discuss you in the external sector. Yeah. So, yes, Aditya. I will give you my number, but your number you can use when it's very necessary to. I think you have my number or no? I don't know. है सारे स्टूडेंट के पास में Okay. So you're writing, why India plunged into BOP crisis? Is it due to political instability or wrong economic decisions taken at the time? Anything to learn from past? Dear, yes. See, remember, if you take BOP crisis, that definitely we are going to discuss in economic reforms. It is a one topic that I have to discuss. But since you asked, you understand. Not a single country wants I have to face the BOP crisis, but some situations arise and is bound to face this. If you think about 991, so one side, yes, it's true there was a political instability, but you think the other conditions, there was disintegration of USSR, and USSR was emerged that time as a good trading partner, and due to good trading partner, we were receiving a good amount of foreign currency from the USSR and also one help from the USSR. So we were used to get a comfortable amount, a good proportion amount of foreign currency from that country. Okay, we were getting this. But after disintegration, what's happened? The foreign currency we were getting from the USSR is totally stopped. Okay, one of the reason. Second, you think the Gulf crisis, the same time the Gulf crisis we faced, 991, you go and see that. That Gulf crisis created and impacted two ways. One, the crude oil price increased manifold, but we can't cut down the crude oil price, crude oil demand. We couldn't cut down this. The reason is what? Okay, that is inelastic in nature. So it still keeps, we imported the same amount, but we had to pay more amount for same amount because international price of crude oil had increased that time. Second reason, so outflow was more. One more reason was due to Gulf crisis, the Indians, they were working in the Gulf countries, and this is one of the significant and good amount of proportions we are getting the remittances that was virtually stopped. So inflow of remittances virtually stopped. So inflow has declined drastically, but outflow has increased. Okay. Plus the condition who can control all the conditions? Who can take the steps? Only strong government. But that time there was political instability. So the government which was in the power that time, they were not interested to take the hard economic decisions because they were only saving the chair. One thing remember, hard economic policies can be only implemented by the strong government, that is a majority government. If government is not in the majority, for that government it's not possible to take the hard economic decisions. Because once you take hard economic decisions, definitely you are going to create some problem in the economy for yourself because other political parties will go against you in the public and they will mobilize against you. If you are in the strong enough, then you can neutralize and you can continue in the power. But if you are not in the power, suppose you are losing your power due to some policy, why you are going to implement it? Forget about the economy, just think about the power. That is the thing, we are doing that. So when government was in that conditions, the coalition government, political instability, so that time it was not possible for the government to take this strong action and implement the economic these things. So that is the reason. Okay, that's the reason we can say that. Okay, this both the reason it was there. I think you have my number. Don't worry. It's reflecting on the WhatsApp chat, so you get it from there. No issue. If anything urgent and the small things you want to ask, you can. No issue. Okay. So till here, any other doubts? So 10th, 11th, and 12th. These two plants where we have to discuss. Yet after discussing 12 5-year plan, all the completion, then we are going to discuss the summarizing it. Okay, what are the very reasons that what we are targeting, we couldn't achieve that, and there is a lag behind between the overall targets and overall achievements, and that's one of the reason that okay, why government just replace the planning commissions by this Niti Aayog, because the way Niti Aayog acted, so it's very difficult to meet the modern and new challenges. Okay, so Niti Aayog, we are assuming that Niti Aayog is equipped with the all infrastructure, all the facilities, so that they can meet the new challenges. And the way they are working, I mean, Niti Aayog started working, okay, they can solve the new challenges. And when these new institutions constituted 2015, then immediately one later on in 2000, you can check 2018 or 15 onwards, they asked one of the questions, okay, how the working of Niti Aayog is different from the Planning Commission. So they can frame a question because, yes, how the new challenges the Niti Aayog is going to meet where the Planning Commission failed, or how the Niti Aayog can meet the new challenges. So they can frame a questions, even they can ask the new things. So you have to develop the whole concept in this way. Line mat rakhna, you just understand those things and you understand all the things in a, okay, so that you can implement in the economy. You can implement in the economy. Clear? So find any doubts, any problems you have, then you please send me. If it's not, then allow me to stop this class. Any doubts you have? I only request you revise all the things, whatever things we are discussing, and questions and answer you start writing the topics we are going to cover, and there is already facilities given to you to send the copy and answer. It will be checked and okay sir. Thank you everyone. Okay.